Welcome again to our Bible study, lesson number 4, review. Can you guys imagine? It's already the 4th week of January. Next time we see each other, it will be February. Time is just flying by like crazy. Lesson number 4. The title, Offerings for Jesus. What's another word for offering? Another word for offering is gift. A gift is an act of gratitude. So you bring a gift because it's an act of gratitude. And I love the way the main memory verse for this week captured it. Psalms 116 verses 12 to 14. The psalmist says, "What shall I render to the Lord for his benefits to me?" In other words, the verse is saying, how can I pay back the Lord for everything he has done for me? The sun, the air, the beauty of nature, the food I eat, my health, the peace he gives me, the hope. How can I pay him back? Really, there's no way to pay him back. That's why he says, what should I give the Lord for all the benefits he has given me? And I think the title of the lesson is quite appropriate because it's really an act of gratitude to the Lord. That's the only thing I can do because I cannot pay him for all the benefits he has done for me. Sunday, the title was Motivation for Giving. The word motivation means, it implies what's the reason for acting or behaving. So what's the reason for giving? Sunday was trying to tell us, does God need my offerings? Oh no, he doesn't. A few lessons ago, we learned that everything belongs to him. Am I enriching God with my offerings? Absolutely not. But I love the thought that they brought on Sunday. It actually says that God permits us to show our appreciation for all his mercies towards us. So the motivation for giving is an act of gratitude. And is God giving me the chance to show how much I appreciate him. And we were reminded in Matthew 6:31 and 34, don't worry. Don't worry. God will supply your need. Deuteronomy 28:1 to 14 told us that if we give, we will be blessed. And I can relate to this, and I'm sure you can too. Have you ever given something or helped someone that could not repay you back? And then you can see the happiness in their faces of gratitude. And it just feels so good. It makes you feel so good inside when you are actually making someone else happy because you have given them a gift. The last Bible verse for Sunday was 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 6 and 7. And it told us that we should give cheerfully. Cheerfully meaning give it because you want to, not because someone is forcing you, not because you have to. No, just because you are so grateful and you want to show your gratitude. Then we went to Monday. Monday's title was, What Portion for Offering? Remember, last week we studied about the tithes, which is 10%. But is there a specific portion for offerings? I loved what Deuteronomy chapter 16:17 said. And I encourage you to actually read these verses. Go check them for yourself. They're so powerful. Deuteronomy tells us for an offering, every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessings that God has given him. So what's the portion for offering? I give as I am able. Some people could give a lot, and some of us maybe can give a little bit. But it's okay. It's a gift for God. It's my act of gratitude to him. Tuesday was quite interesting. The title was Offerings and Worship. Did you know that there were 3 main feasts in Israel where the whole country had to come to Jerusalem to worship together? They came for the Feast of Passover, the Pentecost, and the Feast of Tabernacles. So everybody from all over the country of Israel would come and gather together and worship in Jerusalem. And Deuteronomy 16:16 actually tells us that they never came to worship empty-handed. That means they always brought gifts. They always had acts of gratitude when they came to worship God. And First Chronicles told us that bring an offering and worship the Lord. So First Chronicles 16:29 is telling us that worship and offerings go together. Actually, bringing offerings is an act of worship. Isn't that interesting? Psalms 96:8 and 9 pointed out that give unto the Lord the glory that is due to him. So when I bring my offering, I'm giving glory to God. And Psalms 116:16 and 18 said, I will offer an offering of thanksgiving. So when I come to worship and I bring an offering, it's an offering of thanksgiving. Then we went to Wednesday. God takes note of our offerings. We reviewed 2 stories. Mark 12:41-44 is the story of the widow. And the experience is told that Jesus went to the temple with his disciples. But for some reason, Jesus just sat on the side at a distance where he could actually see the treasury box. I imagine that in those times, they had a box at the entrance of the church, and whoever had offerings, gifts of gratitude, they would just drop it as they came into the church. In my church, there's deacons that come down the aisle and they pass around a plate. But in the times of Jesus, there was a box. And Jesus saw it and just looked as the worshipers came into the temple. There were a lot of people coming, and people were bringing their offerings of gratitude. And some of them actually had so much to give that they carried bags. And so they came into the church with their gifts of gratitude. And everybody would notice because they would open their bags and drop the money into the treasury box. And I'm sure you can hear the tingling of the coins falling into the box. And I can imagine the little kids telling their mom, Mom, look what they dropped. It sounds like a lot of money. And people would be impressed by some of the gifts that people brought. But Jesus took notice of something. He noticed a poor widow. I bet you that no one noticed her except Jesus. And he said to his disciples, do you see that poor widow? She actually gave more than all of them. And the disciples were, what do you mean? Did you see how many bags those people brought and how many coins were dropped in the offering box? And Jesus said, Yes, but she gave more than them. She gave the 2 mites. That was everything she had. And she brought it out of a heart full of gratitude for what God had done for her. And Jesus said, she gave more than all of them. The other story is the story found in Acts chapter 10, 1 to 4. And it was the Roman centurion. The Bible actually tells us that he was a devout man who gave alms to the people, and he prayed always. An interesting fact about this story is the fact that prayer and giving offerings go hand in hand. So who notices what we give? The people around us might not notice, especially if our offering is a very, very small. But there's someone that watches and sees everything, and that is God. I love the way the old hymn said it. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And Thursday, special giving. Special giving, we see the story of at the feast of Simon. There were 2 main characters, Mary Magdalene and Judas. Mary Magdalene loved Jesus. Do you know why she loved him? Because of all the mercies he showed her. He had forgiven her all of her sins. He was the only one willing to stick around with her. So her heart was full of gratitude for God. Mary Magdalene worked a whole year, and she saved all her money so she can buy the best perfume, so she could give it to her Lord. I love this story. It really talks to me, because when you are so thankful to someone and you cannot repay them for what he has done, the only thing you can bring is the best gift of gratitude you can. And Mary Magdalene had a little vase of perfume. And when Jesus was at the feast, very quietly, she went between the people until she reached Jesus. She broke her little jar of perfume and she spilled it on the feet of Jesus. And she washed his feet. And she used her beautiful long hair to dry his feet. Oh, what a beautiful offering of love. Not because she had to, not because she was forced to, but because her heart was full of gratitude for the mercies that God had shown her. I actually think that Mary Magdalene understood what the psalm said. What shall I render to the Lord for all the blessings he has given me? And Friday, the summary of the lesson told us that faith without works is dead. That I actually have to show my faith in action. And I think we can all agree. You know, it's easy to say, I love you, but if you don't show me by your actions, it's going to be hard to believe. So I guess the best example we have is Mary Magdalene. She loved her master, and she also showed it in action. How about you, my friend? What will you give to the Lord for all the blessings he has given you? Thank you for watching, and see you next week.